Welcome to this special episode of Purpose in Action. I'm your host, Esther Aguillon, and today I have the incredible honor of sitting down with two women whose decades-long friendship is rooted in mutual respect, advocacy, and a shared passion for lifting others up. Jan Duplain and Edie Fraser. In this episode, we celebrate not only Jan's remarkable life and legacy as a cultural diplomat, media trailblazer, and bridge builder, but also as the profound bond she shares with her dear friend and fellow purpose-driven leader, Edie Fraser. We talk about sisterhood, shared missions, and what it means to use your life's work to galvanize others. Their relationship is a model of what it means to lead with purpose and to love with intention. We invite you to listen in as Jan and Edie reflect on their friendship, their impact, and their vision for a more connected world. Thank you, Edie, and thank you, Jan. Let's begin by reflecting on your remarkable friendship. After decades of knowing and supporting each other, what stands out most about the bond you've built, not just as friends, but as champions of one another? Jan, would you like to get us started?
You know, Esther, what we were talking about earlier about where we came from and then coming here to Washington, D.C. I came from a little town in Southern California, and my dream was to have a bigger platform, to come where I could make a difference. I think I've always had that, wanting to be, as a young girl, I really think like many, I wanted to be president of the United States. I wanted to have an impact on this planet of ours. And coming to Washington, D.C., where I'd actually gone to school as well, to meet people that are making a difference. And from the moment I met Edie, I knew that she was a woman who was on the move. Because as we've already said, everybody that meets her, she has an impact on, she takes you under the wing. And she always, I don't know how else to say this, except that she saw me bigger than what I was, what I felt I was. She took what was there and she told me in so many ways, Jan, we are on this trip and it's a big trip and it's a big journey and we are going to helping people around the world. We're going to be helping women. We're going to strive for the top. So coming from the little town that I did, wanting a bigger stage and finding an Edie Fraser that says, yes, we are here to move mountains. We are here to do all those things and more, Jan. Whatever you want to do, we can do together. And together, she always emphasized, together, we're going to do this together. So that was my dream, to come to a place where I could make a difference. And Edie Fraser is really, probably in some respects, more than anybody I know, I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of acquaintances, I have a lot of people that I have dealt with, but she really is my coach, my champion for my personal self as well as for things that we are doing. So for that, there's nobody that is like her in my life like that. Consistently, all these years. And I love her, thinks big, dreams big. She's with all the projects that we have been together on, the Million Women Mentors. There it is right there. Not small, but huge. And she kept, every time I turned around, it was million, then it was 5 million, then it was 10 million. I mean, I don't know, it's an endless million, but she always takes it to the next step. But I love Edie as a friend and as somebody who is, that as we have often said to each other, we don't say no to each other. We find a way. And it's like, you want what tomorrow night? Yes, we've got to move on this right away. So I try to always, as she does for me, every single thing I've been involved with, she has come for, whether it's the press club, whether it's the theater world, whether it's art world, whether it's women, whether it's world diplomatic community, whatever, all the many worlds in which she is there for every single one of them. And I'll think, Edie, do you really want to come to the Embassy Chef Challenge? That's when we bring all the different embassies. Yes, Jan, I want to come I have 10 other things, but I'm going to be there for you that night. I can count on her, 100. That is a very dear relationship. But the platform which she's given me to play on and to think big and to go for the mountaintop and to make a difference in this life is really why I'm here at this point in my life too. And I am in the age where you really want to say, you want to look back on your life and you just want to say, what have I done? And am I proud of what's happened in my life and what I'm doing? It's never enough. I will tell you that. Whatever you have, it's never enough. But with Edie by my side, I mean that truly. She is my go-to gal. She is my yes gal. She is my right arm, hand, and person for everything. That's the beginning.
Thank you, Jan. Edie, what has this friendship meant to you over the years, and how has it shaped both your personal and professional journey together?
I'm humbled by you and your friendship forever. You are a goddess of goodness and the respect we have for one another. But what I have for you, our friendship exceeds everything. You are the giant connector. I think we share some of those traits, but you are totally hearing. You're the most creative person I know. You are charming. You are positive. You're innovative. And all of the world adores you because of your work diplomatically with all these countries. But here in Washington, D.C. and Virginia and Maryland, you are so respected and loved. And what you've done between the diplomatic corps support, what you've done being trade around the world, the embassy openings, what you've done for the National Press Club, the American Newswomen Club, because you won the key award from the National Press Club with the Alice Paul Award. And I look back because when I came to Washington, it was because years before, John F. Kennedy said, "What are you doing for your country?" And I came here to work for the Peace Corps and then the poverty program and then headed up health communications for the government and ran the anti-tobacco and other campaigns. But then when we both started businesses and they're together, you are transformational, not transactional. You are a person who diplomacy without you, there's very little dialogue because you make it happen. You're a fierce proponent of others. You and I think big, but you come up with how to make things work. So for all the years when we started, you're right, Million Women Mentors in STEM, and you got the press club as the kick-off point, said, let's kick off 1,000,000. And we said, oh my God, can we get 1,000,000 women to mentor in 5 years? And we ended up with 2.5 million and kept going, working with everyone. When I did the book, Do Your Giving While You're Living, you ended up getting the press club. We got the US Senate. We went up to the NASDAQ stock market. There's nothing that we've ever done that's not big. And I respect you with my heart and my soul. You are a strategic influencer. And together, we live faster together because of what we do so purposeful as we look at what we do to scale, what we do to give back to community, local, national, international, and what we do together at our age to leave a living legacy.
There it is. I think that's why when it comes to presentations, that's why I turn to my friend Edie and say, you can speak for the two of us, because she's one of the most articulate women I know too. And for that, I'm ever grateful that I can, wherever we are, I can drop her. I can be, whatever the issue is, I can drop her in and she can speak with great authority about whatever the topic is. And so, that's why I think she has been such a leader in every group that she has ever been involved with. No, to have her say all those things about me, of course, only because that's how the eyes in which she sees it, of her, which is herself. She is one of the greatest ladies I've ever met, and certainly when it comes to women, she's loved by men too. I mean, men love her. Everybody feels so strongly about her. But her champion, she's always championed for those that she feels need more. And of course, women have had their struggles, and that's where she has put a lot of her attention to make sure that we are all getting a fair shake. But so thank you, Edie, for all those kind words. And as I say, what you have done with and I'll just take the women business organization that I think is one of the great organizations that has brought all these groups together, all women's professional groups together, to really. That's where you have your strength, honey, is you bring people together and you make it into an organization that has power and that can speak to power and that has authority, so that when we walk into a place, she comes in with the authority that we need in order to make our case, whatever that may be. So, and you've got to do that by building up what she has done with STEM and Million Mentors and every organization that she's ever run. She builds it up into a huge organization, a very successful, and she brings men and women together to fight for her causes and to make sure that we can get the things done that we want to. And you have to do that by having a place of authority and seen as a value, an organization of value. So that's what she's given us.
Thank you, Jan. Edie, what has this friendship meant to you over the years, and how has it shaped both your personal and professional journey together?
When we did the book, Women Mean Business, we used, let's elevate and celebrate one another. And I think both our lives are built on that. What can we do to elevate others? And that is characteristic of our projects. And what we do to galvanize others. But there's something other that's special, I would say, about us and you in particular. It's about joy and it's about fun, because at this time in our lives, we, as Maya Angelou said, get rid of negative people, stay with positive, purposeful people who really bring joy to each other and can see through darkness. As Amanda Gorman said, to the light, we cherish the light.
There it is. We absolutely. Thank you again, Edie, for reminding us that there has to be a spirit of joy, I think this is really what we're talking about. To be passionate about what we care about, but also to be fun and playful. I mean, in the midst of all of it, I mean, we can dance, we can sing, it cannot be a heavy task that we see ourselves carrying loads. It's got to feel that we are being elevated by by our spirit. And it is a spiritual journey that we are on, truly. And that we are, that we are hopefully not only uplifting ourselves, but those, it is true that I get my greatest enjoyment, and I know Edie does too, when we feel that we have touched another person's lives, when we feel that we've helped another person. And kindness, a kind word from a good heart means everything. Think about that. It is true that we never know who we're touching people's lives. And Edie does it very naturally. It comes very naturally for her. But that, kind word, a good message, an uplifting message to everyone that she meets. I've watched her, and she will sit there. It reminds me a lot of Esther Cooper Smith, who was one of the grand dames of Washington. And Esther could go around the room and make each person feel that they were the best of the best. And even this, before we had this interview, Edie puts down Jan Duplain, the best of the best. Well, that's what she does to each of us. She makes us, whether we see ourselves that way or not, if we didn't see ourselves that way, by the time we're through with having time with Edie, we feel that we are the best. And when you ignite other people, when you give them the gift of that they are bigger than, better than, it touches me. It's a very emotional issue to think that you are taking people and making them see themselves as their greatest. And that's how I see myself when I'm with Edie. I think I'm the greatest because she's always saying that, she's always telling me that I'm the greatest. So of course, I'm going to put so if she sees me as the greatest, then I'm going to be the greatest. Anyway, she does that with everybody. And that's how she touches one heart at a time, heart to heart. It's a heart to heart, as she says, non-transactional. It's a heart to heart philosophy that you connect one at a time with people. And she does that, but she does it by the time you're through. She's added millions to that one-to-one, so that's why she's able to build these extraordinary organizations and have so many people involved with it. I've watched her across the country. One last thing, Edie, I'll never forget the first time I went down with you on the Hill watching you, and to see all these senators, women and men, everyone that walked in, hi, Edie. They knew her on a one-to-one basis. I was blown away by that. I was just so moved by the fact that she treats power the same way she would treat us. So it doesn't matter whether she's talking to the king or the president or Jan or Esther or whoever. She puts us all up on the same thing, the same level of respect, and that's why you end up feeling wonderful when you finish leaving Edie. Edie, she's made you feel wonderful. So thank you, Edie, for all these years, all these years, all these years.
And your championship, you really are a legacy builder. So I think you're fierce and you're nurturing, and you come across with such strength. And so our friendship is precious, and we both will never forget this interview because we work together every week. We will always champion each other, but the sisterhood and the friendship, but treating all people equal. I just remember my first day working in Washington at the Peace Corps. I got in the elevator with Sergeant Shriver, and he said good morning to the elevator operator and some of the others that were there. And watch as we work with people's assistants and work with those that are mentees. And Esther Aguilan, it is a joy that you're interviewing us because we know the future is precious as we move every day to make a better world, a better country, a better community.
Thank you, Edie. I'd like to close with a question we ask every guest who joins us. After listening to both of you share about your deep friendship, your remarkable accomplishments, the way you've supported and elevated one another and others throughout your journeys, I'd like to ask you to complete this sentence. I know I'm living on purpose when. Jan, we'll start with you.
When I can, at the end of the day, really feel that I'm living up to my potential and that I have impacted, it could be one person or whatever, but that I have somehow, I can see I can see things are turning, that have reshaped somehow. And whether it's building an organization, whether it's talking to other countries, whether it's that somehow I can see at the end of the day that there has been a shift somehow. And I feel a sense of peace and joy as a result.
Purpose is everything. It's about our personal lives. It's about our professional lives. It's about our spiritual lives that we both have talked about. And it's about counting our blessings because of what we've had. There's something in caring for each other in sickness and in health, to God do us part. We live that every day with good people. And when we can count those people that have been impacted, that is really purposeful. When we think about the issues that we've cared about to bring change, and none of us do this alone. As Jan, we say, and my good friend Sharon Reynolds says, we say there's no I in we, because we together living purpose will mean the joy of our lives.
Hear, hear.
Jan and Edie, thank you for allowing us to take a deeper look at your friendship. And for everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another episode of Purpose in Action. So stay tuned.